Well, let's move on to the big conversation here at 9 p.m. and it's going to be a power-packed panel. Next 1 hour going to be extremely active here on the Urban Debate, viewers, and we're going to do something slightly different. The reason being that you and I have been now in a lockdown for 1 long month. We've been in this state for a month since it got announced and implemented, and we still have at least 10 days to go, if not more. So we decided that as 1 month gets over and we still have a lot more to go, let's have a slightly simpler conversation about how life has been and how various people are coping with it. What are they doing to keep themselves busy? What are they doing to flatten the boredom curve? And so, we've got a power-packed panel lined up for you. Without wasting any time, first up quickly, I want to go across to Sonu Nigam, who's joining us. Thank you so much, Sonu, for speaking with us. The last time we spoke was, on one of those Sundays when the entire country had come together to light up the diyas and candles and send across a message. It's been a month in this lockdown. Obviously, things get extremely grim sometimes. They get extremely difficult. How do you deal with those moments? What do you do to then cheer yourself up?
Hello, everyone. Lots of my regards to all of you. This is a problem for people who have not accustomed themselves to, live with themselves. I have been actually I've been very familiar with myself for the last 15, 20 years. So I am not really facing too much of an issue. There's so much to do. There's so much to think. I'm always in the prayer mode. And even when I was in Mumbai, when I was traveling, I usually like to be alone. You can leave me in a room alone, without TV, without books, without phone, everything. And I will be okay with myself. So not much of a difference in my life. Of course, there's a lot of work happening from here because, a lot of people are asking me to sing for them because somebody wants to donate something to the PM fund. Somebody wants to do something for the doctors. Somebody wants to do something, a live concert. We're doing something called I for India, which you'll get to know on the 1st of May. For that, I have to create an entire show. So there are lots of things happening. And these are meditative times to pray, times to ponder, and I'm sure something good is going to come out of this.
Oh yes, absolutely. So explain to us, how does a regular day, work day change for you when you're in a lockdown? All of us are figuring out different ways to continue with our work remotely, finding new apps, different ways of communicating with each other. How has it changed for you?
On a lighter note, since keeping the recalling the last 2 days in mind, let me, through your channel, make it clear. I have not been on Twitter for the last 3 years. 3 years. So I'm not on Twitter, first of all. Let me just tell you, I haven't been on Twitter. There's a lot of things that one can do. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I, first of all, everybody has been advised. I've been doing it for years now, but I these days even more. Hot water with lemon in it, and just keep having it for a long time. Then I have thankfully a gym over here, so I can work out over here. I do a lot of, there's so much on YouTube that you can, you can do yoga, you can do, if you want to do it, you can do it. So we don't even need a gym. We have everything we can to learn from YouTube. Then, of course, earlier we used to go out to do recordings to my studio, to other people's studios. Now, thankfully, I mean, my sixth sense told me that something's going to happen. So I created a studio in Dubai itself, a small studio. So I keep sending my vocals and I'm making songs and whatever from here itself. And yes, of course, conferences keep happening on lots of apps that you're aware of. And then lots of time speaking to good fellows like you who are doing so much for the country also, to just be with them, to talk to them, to spread the message. So the whole day goes by in a lot of madness, and it's neither great nor sad. It's a nice state of being, and there's so much to learn in these times. So I don't regret these times.
So See, technology has done wonders for all of us, and we feel
Yeah,
so connected even though we are not with each other. We are literally running a whole news channel right now with,
absolutely.
maximum people working from home, obviously because of the available technology. But sometimes it fails us. Sometimes, it freezes over, connections fail. There is some or the other, glitch that takes place. Now, does that happen to you guys when you're jamming together, when you are trying to, collaborate with other musicians, or simply just, work on some music? Have there been such moments for you as well, Sonu?
I'm surprised that you asked this question. It's very intelligent of you to actually go into nitty-gritties. This is a very, very intelligent question that you've asked. Nobody has ever asked me this, and it takes some thoughtfulness to be able to get into this. So I was doing a concert, a live
It's also a
concert
lot
for
of
the
our own
doctors of
pain because we are also dealing with it.
Of course, exactly. So I was doing a concert just last week, a live concert. Can you imagine? I don't record concerts. I do live concerts. So I devised a strategy. I'm going to have my keyboard, and keyboard is going to play the patch of the guitar, and I'm going to write everything down. And my sound guy has already adjusted the sound from India. This app called Team Viewing, so he can control my Mac from India or wherever in the world. So he had done all that. My voice was set, and then I go live and my voice is everywhere. The echo, the reverb is. "Whoa, it was so embarrassing. We started the show, and I got calls from my friends and my family. Sonu, the voice is terrible. It's so much reverb, so much echo. It's going everywhere except where it has to go. And we were on the panic mode because it was a live concert and the doctors are watching, the families are watching, and they're thinking, Sonu Nigam kya kar raha hai? Oh my God, kya matlab ho raha hai? But I told them, this is technology. This is my first time we're doing it. We haven't done anything like this before. Finally, eventually after 4 songs, everything was sorted and but I really panicked. So I'm glad that you asked me this question. As you said, you also must have gone through this. It's really panicky when such things happens because people are expecting it out of us and they don't know that we're also going through this for the first time. We haven't done all that. There's no engineer over here. There's no musician. There's nothing, no help. I'm all alone doing everything by myself.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because there are lots of musicians right now who are also doing these, like you said, live concerts on Instagram or,
Yeah.
on various different apps. I've seen some who also actually struggle with just how to keep their phone camera. Should it be in landscape mode? Should it be horizontal or vertical? And then people will start messaging them saying, "Oh no, you're looking all tilted to us. Change your camera angle so that
Yeah.
we can see you better while we're hearing you." So I think all of us are just figuring out how this really goes about. Is there any special set of musics in work right now? Something that you worked on last month that we can look forward to in the coming days?
In fact, I just came out with a prayer, kind of a modern prayer. Just yesterday morning, I was kind of a little easy and I recorded it in a bit. Tonight, I'm going to work after this interview. I'm going to go to my studio and I'm going to work on that. It's a prayer I thought, and I've come to believe, see, I've been in the business for a very long time, 29 years in Bombay and 43 years of singing professionally on stage. So I've come to understand that an artist should always express his state of mind that he's going through at that point. If I'm unhappy and I'm making a happy song, it'll never come across. So I'm meditative right now, and I'm in a prayer mode, and I think the entire world is in that same mode. People don't know, it's so sheer ambiguity, what's going to happen and what is happening. And as I was listening to what you were talking to that Gaurav guy, whoever it was, and I was listening to, yes, we all are in doldrums. We don't know what's going to happen. So I made a prayer on that, and the prayer is called "जो भी है प्रभु तेरी इच्छा है ये मेरी परीक्षा है." So I just made it yesterday morning. I made it, and I'm gonna come out with it soon. Let's see.
Okay, that will be very interesting, and we'll watch out for that. You mentioned
Thank
something
you.
in your initial answer, and I just want to go back to that and ask you, why don't you come back to Twitter? Are you thinking about it? It's been 3 years now.
Uh, yeah, the thing is, I have made a pact with myself. In the last 15 years, when I came to Bombay, honestly, I was a very ambitious guy. I wanted to make it, and I had the killer instinct in me. I used to work hard. I used to practice to succeed. And then somewhere in 2003, 2004, something changed in me. And I realized that my life is never going to be that typical artist, the typical ambitious guy. I'm not going to grow old like that. So when Twitter came initially, I enjoyed it initially. But then I realized it doesn't lead you anywhere. You see, even if you're talking your heart out, if you are truthful, I'm very honest in my approach towards my life, to my friends, and I lead a very intense and very beautiful life, a very peaceful life. And when I express myself, I don't have any malice in my head, and I always do. But I've heard something beautiful in Hindi कि सोए हुए को जगाना आसान है, पर जो जागा हुआ है और सोने की एक्टिंग कर रहा है, उसको आप कभी नहीं जगा सकते. So I felt that on Twitter, there is no way you can make people understand, the honest crux of anything. And I left it with absolute no malice towards anyone. I just realized I thought my life is too pious to be embroiled in such negativity and such language. Anybody can say anything to anyone, and किसी का अकाउंट सिर्फ किसी बात के लिए कैंसिल कर रहे हैं और कोई बैन कर रहा है उसका अकाउंट चल रहा है. So लोग इतनी गालियां दे रहे हैं लोग, and they are still there. And there are some accounts that are getting cancelled or suspended. So I thought there was no balance between everything, and I didn't want to subject myself. As I said, I'm too precious for myself, and I don't want to be into the negative space at all. And that is why I haven't been over here. But see, despite not being there, people still want me on Twitter. They thought I'm on Twitter, so it's good. Let them.
Yes, of course.
They're missing me on Twitter. I was trending
Yes,
on
I
Twitter
think,
for 2
and
days.
you should think about people who do want you on Twitter, and who your fans who would want to see more of you on all platforms. Very quickly, through this conversation, I've constantly been being bombarded with messages. People asking me to request you if you can sing something. The last time you were with us, you sang "Kal Ho Na Ho." Is there another song that you have in mind today for us?
What was I saying? There's so many mosquitoes over here. I should sing something fast so I can be Julia. No. Because there's so many mosquitoes who are biting me down. Can you imagine? Dubai also has mosquitoes. Oh. So I will sing. Okay. Let me sing an upbeat number. Oh, da, da, da. Was it good enough?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much actually for that upbeat number, Sonu Nigam. You've really set the tone for this conversation. Honestly, the only idea today is to help people let off some steam and have a normal conversation. We talk so much about coronavirus and how things are so grim all around us. So I appreciate you joining us tonight and sharing that number. In fact, let me also say good evening to Nikunj Lotia, the YouTuber who's joining us this evening. And I believe Usha Uthup's also, with us already. So thank you so much to both of you as well for joining us this evening. Usha ji, Sonu Nigam set the stage and set the mood with one upbeat number, and I must say that the song that he sang also gets a lot of people grooving every single time. I'm sure some of them even in our production studios right now would be moving to that song. How's your last 1 month been, and how have you kept yourself charged up and busy?
Hi everybody. It's absolutely brilliant to be with all of you, really. That's why I say my usual namaskar, namaskaram, sat sri akal, salam alaikum to everybody. And it was wonderful to listen to Sonu as well, to be on the same panel. It's great because we're such good friends. And yeah, this last month, if you talk about lockdown time, let me tell you that it's really not been so grim. Now, when I think about it, I really feel that God has been really kind to us as compared to so many people who are really suffering, really doing so badly. And I think the world is at the moment really ill and really sick. And it's up to us to really get together and see to it that there's no more I, me, myself. No, it's us. Everything has to be us. And that's the way it's been for me, really. And I think that is so marvelous when we can really start thinking about other people more than just ourselves. And it's been great. I'm a great person for believing in routine. I love routine and I love discipline. So my mornings are always like I said last time. I don't know if I said it to you, but I'm saying it again because I would like everybody to be nice and calm, which I'm not at the moment. I'm excited. I didn't know how to fix everything. Okay, Uh, but let me tell you, I get up at 4:50, 4:45 in the morning, and by 5 o'clock, I finish sending all my messages, whatever messages I need to send in the morning. Then I do my Namyo Ho Renge Kyo, which is the Buddhist chant. I pray, and then I pray in. I do the Mahamrityunjay mantra. Then I do the Our Father, and I think it's that sets the mood for the whole day because it keeps me peaceful, it keeps me calm, and then I get ready. I mean, I'm like this. I get ready. It's the only thing I put on now is actually this the chain just for all of you, yeah. But yeah, so I get dressed up and I'm ready to go to the club to do my walking, and then I realize, hey, there's no club. You can't go anywhere. So I go to the dining table and
Right.
walk around, walk around the dining table, and yeah, and so the whole day goes on like that. There are so many live shows that I'm doing, live Instagram and or Facebook, which I never knew anything about Zoom before. Even now, I was talking to your unit before I got on. I'm so nervous because I don't know how to handle all this. But let me tell you something. It's been a month of learning, complete learning. And you know, if you're a good listener and if you are a good receptacle to assimilate what is really going on, I think it helps you a great deal. I'm a learner. I learn from everything that is happening around me. And truly, I think,
Right.
it's been a thing of learning for me this 1 month, really more than a month actually, because before the actual lockdown started, I was already at home. I didn't go out anywhere for about 4 days before that. So
Yes.
for me, it's been as when I look back now, it's really not been so bad. In fact, it's been wonderful. It's taught me
So,
how to
what,
be more
Usha ji,
frugal.
what do you miss the most? The one thing that you're missing the most in this lockdown? I don't know. It could be a food item. It could be a certain place. It could be, somebody who you haven't seen in a long time. Something that you're really missing because you've been in this state for the last 1 month.
Well, there's no one thing like that. I mean, my son is with me,
Mm.
and I wish I had the rest of the family. Yeah, the rest of the family. I think at this moment, I mean, these days, I've always valued my family. Always, always. They've always meant the world to me. But now is the time when I've really, really missed them. Yeah, my family and my friends. And uh, shall I say, above all, if I had all these things, the most important thing would be the stage. Yeah, without music, it's impossible for me. So
Yes.
digital. I mean, this is where it's at. What do you all call it? AI, right? Artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Bapre.
Yes.
Too much.
Yes.
I'm learning so much, really. I was on a show this afternoon and they were talking all these wonderful things and I learned such a lot from them. Yeah. So I'm learning all the time and I tell you this is the way for all of us now. Digital, because there's no other way
Yeah.
to connect with anybody.
So,
So I miss my audiences, yes, and my musicians. I miss my audiences,
so you,
really.
you,
I
you miss
miss
your
the
stage,
music.
yes. The last time you had your boombox with you and you did a little bit of a number for us and you sang, a few lines for us. Would you be in a
What
mood
did I
to
sing?
sing a little this Friday night?
Of course, I'm always ready to sing. You know me. I mean, I'm just dying to sing anyway. Yeah. So, what did I sing last time? So, I'll sing
Go ahead,
something
please.
else.
Then the urban debate is your stage tonight. Go ahead, please. Let's hear something from you. Your choice completely.
No, no, you tell me, did I sing Darling last time? I didn't sing Darling.
No, you didn't. I think you sang the Shan song.
Shan. So, let me sing Darling, dedicated to all the darlings over here. And most importantly, I'd like to tell everybody, yeah, that. Oh, let me tell you, one of the messages, my a friend wrote back to me, one of my friends wrote back to me and said that, the most negative word today is positive. So, I,
Right, right, absolutely, yes.
yeah. So I guess, I used to say in my messages, stay safe, stay well, happy, strong, and positive. Now I've dropped the positive and I say, just be optimistic, everybody. I'm a compulsive optimist, so all of you
Okay.
be optimists as well. So this is dedicated to all the wonderful darlings that do such a lot for all of us. But let's not forget that we are in these terrible, terrible, trying times, and the world is going through a Terrible, terrible time. Trying times. And I think it's about time that we all really realized it. Life is never going to be the same again, but it's taught us so many things. Life has taught us so many things, to be more frugal, to be more careful, to be more alert, to care more for people around you. And this is the first time that, I mean, I've always been that way, but the first time that you can really do some serious introspection. And I thank God for that. I thank Him with all gratitude for all that He has given me and my family. Let's go. I'll sing Darling for all the darlings over here. Okay, let's go. I hope all of you enjoyed that. Did you
Yes,
all enjoy
absolutely.
that?
Thank you so much, Usha Uthup.
Thank
Yes,
you. I love you all.
absolutely loved it and completely made our evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
Usha Uthup, to
And
have you.
be
Always a pleasure to listen to
optimistic.
you sing.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
be
so much.
optimistic. Correct. That's the new mantra now. That's the new phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Nick, thanks so much, Nikunj Lotia, for patiently also waiting by and being part of this conversation. Now, I was wondering, Nick, while life changes significantly for a journalist or a musician, how does life change for a YouTuber in times of a lockdown?
First of all, I'm like really thankful to be here, and I was not patiently waiting. I was just growing around. It was such a pleasure to hear Usha ma'am and Sonu Nigam sir sing, and this is the first time I'm watching them live, so it was amazing. I was just grooming around if you've seen me live. Yeah, so coming to the point that life has changed a lot and not like drastically changed because uh, for me being a content creator, what I generally do is I create content
Correct.
myself. So I write. Okay. So I write myself. I direct myself. I've got a team, but initially I started out doing everything myself. So I feel like I'm back to basics and I'm still doing the same things. In fact, I've realized I'm more, I'm putting out more content than ever. Right.
Yeah, okay. So, what's the inspiration been largely then? A lot of content about Corona and dealing with times of Corona. Give us some insights into, what you've been working on.
So I think like I just moved into a new place. I'm living alone right now, where I live in the same building where
Okay.
my family lives. So it's the best thing. Like I've got my personal space too. Plus, whenever I'm missing family, I just have to like walk down and like it's in the same building and the same wing. So my inspiration towards making content is I I've always been like this. I try to make content which I would love to watch. That's the number one thing that I watch. Like when I create content, the one thing that the thumb rule about creating content is I should love watching it. If it comes up on my feed, would I laugh irrespective of the fact that I'm on it? So it's always like I'm never out of ideas because it keeps running. But I feel that because I've been traveling a lot in the past 1 year. I was in like 7, 8 countries the last year. I was in LA for a month and just came back. So when I'm traveling a lot, I tend to meet a lot of people, and I tend to have conversation with them. I look around, and then that's how I used to find content initially. Probably the past 1 year, 1 or 2 years. But recently, what has happened is now that I cannot travel, all I have to do is sit and watch content. But I'm obliged and I'm happy enough to have all those friends, all my creative friends. When I'm like, when I'm feeling stuck, I just call them up and I just, discuss my ideas to them, saying that, what do you think about it? Do you think it's going to go good? Like, are you up for a collaboration? I feel I've done more collaborations in the past 1 month than probably the last year.
What sort of collaborations then are you guys looking at these days?
For instance, like, I just made a video about me posting a story on Instagram and how all my friends are thinking that that story is directed to them. So all they had to do is like shoot in front of the camera, thinking that, oh, why is Nick thinking like that? And everyone thinking that it's directed towards them. So it's one sort of content where I can shoot from my place and all the other creative friends or my celebrity friends are shooting from their own space. So now all I have to do is I cannot, since like, I live alone and I cannot shoot with anybody out here. All I think about is how can I make other people act from their homes. And they're very collaborative. Everybody is at home right now, so they're very up for it too. Generally, what used to happen is, I live around with a lot of people, but then I never used to get time to connect with them because either they were busy or I was busy, or they were traveling or I was traveling. But right now, everybody's at home. They're only one call away, and everybody are up to like collaborating.
Okay, stay on with me, Nick. I believe we've also got Danish Sait who's joining us, and he too has been extremely busy creating a lot of content in the last few weeks. Danish, tonight's simply about having conversations of how the past 1 month has been, how it's changed our lives, and just to let off a little bit of steam as we otherwise discuss a lot of serious issues, about coronavirus and how it's impacting our lives. Is getting content more difficult or more easy now in this setup, Danish?
I think the time that we have is extremely useful. That's the biggest crunch, right, in life. Otherwise, for people who are usually on the go and then you're trying to crack some other project, meet with somebody to be a part of theirs. But this kind of compels you to be at home and just do whatever you can with whatever you have. So personally for me, I think this has been one of the most enjoyable and amazing periods because I'm at home. I can't complain. I have to perform with whatever I have. So personally for me, it's also a lot of heart. And I'm not too bothered about whether people like stuff, don't like stuff, whether they share it, don't share it. That doesn't matter. I'm having a fun time, and I think it's a great phase because I finally have some time to do stuff and have fun.
Just share with us what is it that you found time to do now in the last 1 month? What new stuff have you attempted so far?
So I'll tell you what, it started out with me being a little anxious, eating about 3 tablets of Cipralex every single day, trying to figure out how I'm going to get rid of this anxiety and what am I going to do. Then I got bored of just doing bartan, pocha. I was like, this is like the norm, let's just do it. Because I saw Katrina Kaif's picture of her washing dishes and I was like, that's it, dude. Everyone's doing this, I'm doing it too. Now I was like, what can I do different? So then I started doing phone conversations with my friends. Like I was having calls with them and every friend was saying the same thing. Everybody was like, bro, this corona, dude, macha, this corona, when is it going to go, da? I don't know when life is going to be normal, da. So what I did was I just made a mashup of the conversations I was having with all my friends and I put it out there. And it turned out that everybody was having the same conversation, so it just went nuts. And then I realized, there you go, there's some potential in these phone calls.
I watched a couple of those. Danish, I actually watched a couple of those and I found them to be very, very real and including the way you said it. And I was wondering if you can just, point out a few of those issues and lines because I'm sure the viewers watching tonight will also connect with the issues that you and your friends had conversations about.
Yeah, so it just ranges. There are like friends who are worried about jobs like, macha, this is nothing, da. You know that 2008 depression? No, this is bigger than that, da. Then you have people at the other end going, I don't know, man. I can't go for my run. Like, who closes a pool because of coronavirus, dude? I mean, I go to the supermarket, there are lines, bro. How do I stand on a line? And I'm like, the range of conversations is just insane. At one end there are people saying there's no food. And, the other thing that fascinated me was every single home has been calling their domestic help to check how they're doing. Everybody is like, hi, how are you? My mother has made more calls to the domestic help than to me or my sister. How are you? Geeta, I hope you're fine. Khana khaya? Are you at home? Don't go out, okay? And the only thing she's bothered about is salary. She's like, Didi, salary, Didi. And my mother's like, cool, we'll transfer it to you. So I've just been going through the similar conversations and I just started replicating all of them on my videos.
Yeah.
And I've just been using random stuff like a paintbrush. I've been using a phone charger. I just use them as phones. I use a pen. I've been using the scoop. This is my cat's food. I've stolen a scoop to hold it as a phone. I've been using the nozzle of a vacuum cleaner. It's stupid. I find myself a little crazy sometimes. Like my mother's called me 5 times to check if I'm okay. She's like, are you fine? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Because my mom had this genius of an idea saying, hey, I wish we were all together. And my sister said something. She said, if coronavirus doesn't kill us, I think we'll kill each other. So it's better we're all staying in separate paths. so it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just great fun.
Just stay on with me, Nick and Danish, both of you, because I have one question that I'm asking everybody who's joining me tonight, and I want to come back to you on that. But let me also see if I can go across to Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, former captain of Indian football team, also with us this evening. We were having a bit of audio issues with Mr. Bhutia, but I hope we can hear him now. Good evening. And Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, the conversation tonight really is about how are we surviving this lockdown. It must be really difficult, for a sportsman because you can't go outdoors.
No, I think it is difficult, but as life says, you've got to carry on and you've got to adjust, and I think you should not complain about it. And difficult times are going to come surprisingly in any moment. So I think it's about just dealing with it, not complaining about it, and just trying to see what you can do best about it. So I think coronavirus has come in and affected everybody's life, and I think it's in a way it's good as well. I was just listening to somebody who was just speaking just seconds away and said that it's been very very good. He's been happy, and I look at the same way. It's been good. I've been indoors myself at home. I've been traveling quite a lot, but I've been stuck inside the house with no family around right now. Being happy, getting my own space, but no complaints. We just need to adjust and keep looking how we can move forward.
So how are you keeping yourself busy? And what about your own physical fitness regime? Have you devised something special for this lockdown period?
No, nothing special. In fact, I've not been working out so much as now. In fact, after the lockdown, and I've been able to work out quite a bit indoors, and it's been quite good that way because. Usually I'm just traveling around because of some work or the other, but now I've been able to do, my own, look after myself, eat healthy. That was very, very important. In fact, because you're staying alone as well, I've started doing even fasting as well. I'm trying to learn that technique. So maybe sometimes you get bored to cook, but, you tend to start learning a lot of new things. So I've been working out 2 to 3 hours a day, which I normally only use to work out an hour, that to once, twice a week. So it's been good that way. Yeah.
I have a question for Bhaichung.
But it must be good to be. Please, absolutely, go ahead.
I have a question. Sir, hi, this is Danish. I just have a question about sports in general. So now that everybody is locked in at home, does the collective level of these sports go down because not everybody is training and not everything is similar as being on the ground, right? So does the level of sports just fall?
It does. Obviously, if you're playing any sports that is, which is got to deal with physical sports and a lot of, stamina, I think if you're not training for almost 20, 30 days, then your fitness level definitely goes down. So that's going to be a bit challenging for a lot of sports person to get that into, their fitness peak when it starts, the game starts happening. But, I'm sure a lot of the sports person are aware and they are, I think, training indoors as well, wherever they are. But it does make a big, big difference because fitness is something which, you really need to keep doing every day because once you don't work out for 2 weeks, it goes down. Unless you're a chess or shooting or some other sports which you physically don't need to do so much. So, yeah.
You wouldn't want to shoot people at home. That would be dangerous.
I definitely would not.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, I believe you're in Darjeeling right now. So that's a nice place, a pretty place to be in times of a lockdown. Yeah. And you are also home. I mean, unlike some of us are stuck in these concrete jungles.
No, I'm a little nearer to Darjeeling, a place called Siliguri. In fact, it's also a beautiful town, which is for us, Siliguri is the commercial place for all the people from the hills. So Darjeeling, Kalimpong, Sikkim, everybody depends on Siliguri. And it's a beautiful small town, bit crowded, yes, but overall it's nice. But as I said, I'm on my own, so I get to do a bit of my own work, also do a little bit of social work, try and help people outside Sikkim who are stuck outside state through my own friends and networks and NGOs to see if we can help. So that way I've been able to spend some time doing a bit of social work as well.
That's good to know, and that's quite interesting. In fact, I've been wanting to visit Siliguri for a while. My parents were there for quite some time when I was a little kid, and I've been hoping to get back there someday. But one thing that you raised, Mr. Bhutia, and I thought that was very interesting, and I am personally going to try it out. This is a good time to go on a fasting or an intermittent fasting kind of a routine. It saves you the effort of constantly cooking. Danish, how are you getting by, with all the cleaning and the cooking and everything?
The no better time to start fasting. You know what? You know when it really pinches you when you have to wash those spoons. I didn't even know how difficult it was to wash spoons until I got into this phase. I'm like, geez, who invented spoons and why? How do white people do this? They use a fork and a knife and a spoon. That's three things. I'm just eating everything with my hands. It doesn't matter. Noodles, no food, cornflakes, everything. I just don't want to wash spoons anymore.
Actually, this is a maybe good time to go back to our roots and eating with hands like our ancestors used to. A lot of us do even now. And perhaps that's the easy way out of this. Nick, how are you getting by when it comes to doing your own household chores?
I mean, like, I just have to give you a heads up that after the third CD, I have to go and like off the cooker. So, yeah, I mean, like, I've been doing good.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you this:
learn.
both me and both me and my husband, we both have these jobs where we have to go live, on the television, and on digital media and on social media, and we have to time it. And not only do we have to time our live shows, we also have to time it to when we are cooking, because you don't want a whistle, in the background constantly going when a live show is on. So I can understand. Let's also say good evening to Yasmin Karachiwala, also joining us right now. Yasmin, just as you were joining us, we were actually asking Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, how does somebody who's very used to a lot of physical activity and training deal with this scenario of a lockdown? Do you design something special that you can do indoors? How does life change in times of lockdown for you?
Actually, life has not changed at all for me. In fact, I feel like I'm more busy in times of lockdown than I was before lockdown, because I'm training clients virtually online, and I'm training a lot of clients. I'm doing group classes. I do live sessions on Instagram and Facebook for the millions of people out there who can't get out of their house. So I try to design something that they can do indoors, which, kind of releases their endorphins, gets them moving, increases their immunity, and gives them a good workout. So I think for me, it's been a very productive lockdown in terms of, even the way I'm thinking has changed, because there is more time to think of different ways to do the same old thing.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, just before I let you go, I had one question for you. Have you started to miss football field already, or when do you think that phase will actually hit you, when you really just wish you were on a football field?
No, I'm definitely missing the football field. In fact, watching a lot of live matches on television, though I've retired quite some time ago, so I've not been playing regularly. But yes, I do miss playing around as well as watching football. So hopefully, I think hopefully it will start soon. There is already talk. Some of the European leagues are supposed to start in next 2-3 weeks' time. So, yeah, I hope. Sadly, Indian football scene right now is, anyway, it was coming to an end. The season was coming to an end. It was a break time anyway for us. So, hopefully by August, September, once the season starts for football in India, hopefully I think this coronavirus also might settle down. We might have a vaccine coming in. And if not as well, hopefully we can start playing without the spectators as well, so that at least people like me who can watch live matches coming on television or in social media or in digital platforms.
Yes, and does it concern, athletes and sports person whose career and profession involves a lot of travel? Is it a bit of a concern right now that even going forward, it's going to impact your plans? Traveling across the world perhaps will not be easy and full of risk, at least for the next 1 or 2 years, isn't it?
Yes, but as far as we've been reading and seeing about coronavirus, I think it does affect a lot of elderly people. So athletes might carry the virus with them and might infect their elderly people back home. But as far as what with little knowledge I have, I think if they can stay fit and take the right food, and basic stuff which we're hearing about it, hot water with turmeric, lemon water. Things like that. So I think, and with that fitness, I'm sure, I think the athlete with immune system, they should be able to tackle. I'm not saying that they should still travel if they're not supposed to, but I'm sure they would be fine. So hopefully, touch fingers crossed. I hope everything gets better.
Yes, we're all hoping for that as well. Mr. Bhaichung Bhutia, it was a pleasure to have you on the show tonight. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Let me actually bring in Yasmin also on the point that he was making. Yasmin, this is going to be quite a bit of challenge for people who are in the business of travel or whose professional life involves a lot of travel or getting out of the house. It's a long-term thing that we all need to start bracing ourselves for.
I think what the coronavirus, the one thing it's taught us, which is really important, is sanitization. I mean, we used to laugh at the Japanese when they would be with masks and, things like that in public places. But, washing your hands, making sure everything is sanitized. I know that just before we shut down, we had sanitizers at every single machine in the studio, and we had notices put up for people to clean their machine, sanitize them. And I think the good thing that it's taught us is to live a little more precariously, to be careful about what we do. We can't, having said that, life can't stop, right? I mean, life has to go on. So people who travel will have to travel. There will be precautions taken by themselves first, and then by the government of different countries to where they're going, our government, everyone's working together. So I think we are looking at, the way I look at it is, we're making the environment safer for our kids. The way we were going and the way it was trending till now, it was like we were literally destroying things with, scientific advancement and things like that. So I think life has just taught us to take a pause, to value our life first and then everything around us. So I'm thinking that the coronavirus will bring the best out of us and we will all be putting our best foot forward.
Yes, absolutely. Any interesting advice that you have, for people who still want to ensure that they have an active regime even when they're indoors, they don't have too many options of equipment or tools to keep themselves fit, or even space for that matter, as it is in these matchbox homes of Mumbai, Yasmin. Any advice on how to still, find that space to stay fit?
So you definitely don't need equipment to keep yourself fit, and that's what we are working on right now, is working on our fitness. It's working on our immunity. We're not trying to set new targets and new goals in the coronavirus. Some people might who have the luxury of having a gym in their house, but like you said, most people live in very small houses. I try to teach people exercises that they can just do within. So I don't know if you've been watching my Instagram and Facebook posts. I've been doing exercises you can do in bed, exercises you can do on the couch, exercise you can do with your wall, exercises you can do with your chair. I have a really interesting one that I'm putting up tonight. So it's just also getting there and motivating people and telling them that you don't need equipment and don't need large spaces. Of course, we're fortunate when we have them, but when we don't have them, you can still be fit and look after yourself by just being a little creative. And I'm trying to put the creativity into the workouts for people to be able to follow simple and at home.
Okay, all right. Yasmin Karachiwala, thank you so much for joining us. Let me get back to Danish and Nick, and I had promised them, and I had one question that I wanted to ask them, and I had asked them to, hold on for that. Danish, let's start with you. What is that one thing that you're missing right now, that you've missed in the last 1 month? And I'm just going to put it out there that to say family is not allowed, because that just goes without saying. But apart from that, something that you love to eat, or a specific place, or somebody specific, one thing that you've really missed in the last 30 days?
A trip to China. I so wish I was in Wuhan.
Yeah.
Actually, nothing. Yeah, I think life's good. I'm not complaining. I just feel like this is nature's way of saying just shut up and sit at home, and I'm okay with that. I'm not really missing anything, because I think with whatever has been put under, under the purview of the government, whatever they've asked us to do, I think we come from a certain space where we can turn around and say that today our problems aren't bigger than the real problems out there. And I'd sound like a real hoity-toity wine-drinking on the treadmill kind of person if I said, I miss like going to the parlor. People would probably pull me out of their TV and beat me up. I'm okay. I think it's cool. Life is okay. It's just that there's a situation that you need to stay and put with. It's not something that you've seen, I've seen, or anybody's seen, right? Like I was talking to my 75-year-old grandmom, and I said, Ami, what do you make of this? And she said, Beta, I've never seen something like this. I don't know what to make of it, but just stay at home, right? So to be honest, nothing. Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm fine. I'm very happy being at home. And also,
Nick, is there something specific on your mind that you miss, that you will do the day the lockdown gets lifted?
To be very honest, I'm a huge, I eat junk food a lot, so I'm missing vada pav a lot. I mean, a lot more. Even I tried making one.
Yeah.
I tried making one at home, and it turned out to be like really great aloo sandwich. I don't know.
Hey, Nick.
It was not a vada pav, that's what I know.
Something. Nick, I'm going to recommend something, man. You actually get these ready to make, these ready to fry things. You can just pick it up and fry it at home and put it between power and eat it. I made a burger for myself. It was rubbish, but I enjoyed it.
Also.
I'll definitely check it out.
Maybe
like
a couple
tomorrow
of more tries, Nick, and you will get there. And I'm sure, since we have a lot more time, at least 10 more days, maybe you can try it a couple of more times. I miss Golgappas the most, or Pani Puri as they call it here in Mumbai, and I'm hoping that the day the lockdown gets lifted, I can get out and get some. Thanks both of you guys for joining us on this conversation. Let me also very quickly go across to Manvi Gagroo, actor, joining us right now. Manvi, just a quick conversation about how the lockdown has been for you in the past 1 month. How has it changed life?
Right at the beginning, hi, first of all, hi. And actually, the funny thing is, right at the beginning of the lockdown, I got this rude shock, and I realized that my life post the lockdown is not very different from my life before the lockdown. And I mean, I quite enjoy being by myself and my me time and staying at home. I'm quite a homebody that way. What's happening now is, I also had a show release last week. So we were very busy with the promotions and everything. And now we're again promoting the show, pushing it forward. So I've been actually working double time, because I live alone in Bombay. So I've also been working at home and doing all these household chores, which I've as much as I've come to respect my house help and my mother, but and every other person who's ever helped around with household chores, I don't enjoy them at all. So yeah, I'm struggling with that. Finding a balance between working from home and doing housework and trying to steal some me time, which is something that I was actually looking forward to doing when the lockdown got announced. But one day at a time.
Yeah. But are you still enjoying it as much? Because it's been a month of it now. Things that we usually don't get to do, one craves for it. But once you've had some of it, then you're like, okay, now we're done. Let's go back to normal life.
But I haven't got that only. I've been working non-stop even during the lockdown. So I haven't really got that time to just like sit by myself and do my own thing. Like everybody keeps asking me, so what are the shows you're
So
binging on? What are the
how
films
have
you
you gone
watched?
about that? Like, so correct. So because you're an actor, what does working from home and entail for you?
So you would think it would be nothing because you can't act from home without any team with you or anything. But because we were promoting the show, so there were a lot of live interviews. There were a lot of Skype calls, Zoom calls, a lot of telephonic interviews. Then there was a lot of content creation for internet, and so they wanted us to make videos and selfie videos and these videos, that video. It just kept going on, and I was like, I had to tell them, I'm like, guys, please, I live alone. I need to. I'm doing so much work, and because I'm not used to housework, so I'm also slower and less efficient, right? In the beginning, like it's only once you get used to it that you kind of find your way around everything. And things like cooking and like I can avoid cleaning and all for a day or two and do it every alternate day and find a lazy way around it. But cooking is something I have to do every day. And
maybe just you could try it with your PR guys to tell them that maybe the next publicity event that you have to do or some promotion exercise that you have to do, you do it while you do your household chores, so you can speak to your viewers and your fans while you're cooking. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it right now. But the good part is that since your show is out and people are stuck at home, maybe it gives them a chance and more time to also go and watch your show. So all the best for that. Thank you so much. I'm completely out of time, Manvi. I hope I had more time to speak with you. But thank you for joining us. So there you go, viewers. Whole host of different kinds of celebrities and influencers here telling us all the past 1 month has been. I'm just going to say that it does, make you feel a little good, and a lot of positivity that we got on this conversation tonight. We have a few more days to go with this lockdown. A long battle as far as coronavirus is concerned. Let's stay home, stay safe, and stay strong. Thank you so much for joining us.